Hello again. Sorry about the late recording. OBS wasn't working for some reason, and now I can record. So, that's nice. Um, we're, we are going to be, again, continuing. I completely forgot the day. Day 737 in the loop. So yeah, and I won't end it at 16 minutes accidentally this time. So nice. Hold on, I need to find my place. Then one day, as the hatch opened, and I lay on my bed waiting to hear the gruff voice of Forrest Hamlet, I hear a voice that didn't suit his aging but handsome alt face, yelling government-approved questions at me. Instead, Wren said, "Hi." Wren said, "Hi, I'm Wren. I'm the new warden." I think I felt a moment of hope, a little spark in my chest when I sat up and saw her smiling at me. Impossibly green eyes, glowing bright the way alts do, wide smile revealing perfect white teeth. I said hi back, and we talked. Nothing particularly deep or meaningful, just friendly words. How are you? What's your name? How long have you been here? It felt like she cared. I fell in love with her the first time she gave me a book. It was a simple gesture, just to pass the time, she'd said, and then laughed as I stared at the blank cover with a red silhouetted wolf howling to the sky. She said I was looking at it like it was a cup of ice water in a dessert, and I told her that it was. A pretty weak reply, but she smiled. The book was The Call of the Wild by Jack London, an ancient novel about a dog who joins a pack of wolves. I loved it and can still quote it from memory. I read it twice before she returned the next day with another book. After that, Wren brought me a new book almost every day. She took time out of her life to go online, using her lens to enter the mall, a gigantic virtual shopping center with over 4 million stores, and go to one of the antique shops and buy a new book for me. Sorry, that's my family in the background. A book that would be delivered by drone to her home within an hour of purchase. She was selfless, kind, nice. She was unlike any alt I'd ever met. Wren saved me from the insanity that affects a lot of the inmates in this place. I hear them during the exercise hour, babbling nonsense into the air, unable to adapt from their hyper-stimulated life in the outside world to the agonizing solitude of the loop. I'm still staring at the hatch where Wren was 5 minutes before, smiling at my own good luck that she came along. I eat my sandwich and hold on to this good feeling for as long as I can. At 5 p.m., the screen displays my dinner options, and I select soup and bread, which arrives through a panel a few seconds later. I eat, and then at 5:25 p.m., the screen tells me to stand in the circle of light that has appeared on the floor of my cell. I sigh. It's time for the energy harvest. In the moments leading up to the harvest, it's not Happy's voice that comes through the screen, but Galen Rise. Please select all items of clothing. Please remove all items of clothing, he says, the usual approachable tone gone from his voice. Refusal is an option, but the punishment is drone poison. I pull the Velcro straps of my shoes loose, no laces allowed in the loop, and kick them onto my bed. I pull apart the Velcro fastener of my plain white jumpsuit and slide it down my body. It joins my shoes on the bed, and I stand there, naked. Galen's voice returns. Keep your hands by your side and legs together, inmate. Know that the energy harvest is a part of your punishment. Know that the criminality will not be tolerated. Know that your suffering will act as a deterrent to those outside prison who are considering a life of crime. Shut the frick up, I mutter. By the way, any curse words in here, because there's a decent amount, will be replaced with different options. The great glass tube lowers from the ceiling. The harvest begins at 5:30 p.m. It starts quickly. Adrenaline dumps into my system. My heart goes from its resting rate to racing in 1 second, and every muscle in my body begins to tense, knotting and hardening until I'm sure they're all going to tear at once. I fall forward, unable to control my spasming fibers, and my face slams against the glass of the tube. I want to cry out in pain, but my throat has locked. Next, microscopic nanobots are released into the tube. They push themselves through my skin and into the veins at my temples, riding the blood flow until they are in my brain, where they replicate and access fear centers in the neocortex and amygdala. They make me believe my life is in great danger, and I'm sure that I'm going to die. No matter how hard I try to assure myself that this is just the energy harvest, that this is just how they get the power they need to operate the loop without the alts having to pay more taxes for our imprisonment, I cannot shake off the certainty that this is the end of my life. I twist and convulse and claw at the glass, frantic for a way out. I fall to the floor, find my voice, and scream. The harvest goes on for 6 hours, but it feels like days. When it finally does end, I'm physically and emotionally drained. I lie on the concrete, wet with the sweat that is pouring off my body. And then the water comes, acrid and infused with delousing agents. Triglyceride, and a form of bleach. Then the hot air blasts in, drying the water and the sweat to a grainy residue. And finally, the tube lifts away. I lie there, and after a few minutes I smile because tomorrow I will run again. I will run and drain myself of all my energy so they can't have it. I crawl to my bed and look at the clock. I count down the minutes until midnight. When it comes, I stand at the window and watch the government issue rain, which comes at midnight and lasts for 30 minutes. Calculated to be just the right amount for the crops and the trees before tomorrow's perfect amount of cloud cover to allow the perfect amount of sunlight to keep the inhabitants of this quadrant of Earth perfectly happy and healthy. Half an hour later the rain ends, and I can sleep. I lie in my bed, the moon casting shadows off my hands on the wall as I practice the sign language my mother taught me when I was a kid. I spell out my sister's name, Molly. I spell out my old address, door 14, 177th floor, Black Road Vertical. I spell out Ren's name. I run through the alphabet. Tomorrow I will do all this again, and the next day, and on until I turn 18 and am taken to the block, or I get unlucky with a delay, or I drop dead of some new kind of sickness out of the red zones. And this is how it goes. This is life in the loop. Day 738 in the loop. I wake up before my alarm, eat my breakfast, and begin my workout. At 9 a.m., Gallen's address comes on. I read until 11:30 a.m. when the back wall of my cell silently opens for exercise hour. I run from my cell to the pillar and back over and over again, pushing myself as hard as I can for 45 minutes. Then rest, enjoying the warm sun, listening to Pander Singh and Tycho threaten me for 15 minutes before I return to my cell. I read again, almost finishing my book, until Ren arrives. We talk for 10 minutes. Today my lunch is a salad bowl. Ren leaves, and I'm left in silence and sadness for over 3 hours until the energy harvest begins. For 6 hours, I suffer the fear and pain of the harvest. Finally, it ends, and I crawl to the window to watch the rain before collapsing into bed and falling into a restless sleep. Day 739 in the loop. I wake up before my alarm, choose cereal for breakfast, work out, watch Gallen's address, read, run. Ren brings me lunch, a vegetable wrap. I sit in silence, I choose dinner. The energy harvest comes. I watch the rain. I sleep. Day 740 in the loop. The same routine. Day 741 in the loop. Day after day. Day 742 in the loop. It never ends. Day 743 in the loop. I wake up before my alarm and smile. Today is Wednesday, and on Wednesday the routine is broken. The day is the same as always. The only difference is that it seems to take forever. Each minute feels like an hour, and the hours feel like days. After exercise, I can't help but glance at the clock over and over again, hoping each time that a great chunk of this endless day will have magically disappeared, but the numbers are stubborn and refuse to change. Ren comes at her usual time, and we chat, only this time it's more muted, more cautious. There's a secret between us, something that we know but can't talk about. Not yet, not until 2 a.m. She says goodbye and winks at me before closing the hatch. I smile back and feel a burst of excitement in my stomach. I face the energy harvest with a smile. The smile quickly disappears as the harvest begins, but I can handle it tonight. I can get through it. The rain comes and goes, and I lie on my bed, feeling my energy levels beginning to replenish bit by bit. Tonight, I don't sleep though. Tonight, I wait. I watch the numbers switch from 1:59 a.m. to 2 a.m., and for the briefest moments, the screen flickers. I reach under my pillow for my hat and pull the black knit material low over my Panoptic camera. This is just a precaution. The footage from the Panoptic cameras can only be accessed by the government if they are given permission by the citizen or the person is suspected to be actively involved in a crime or missing persons case. I sit up on my bed, stare fervently at the thick steel door, and wait. I hear the snap of the lock followed by a rolling metal-on-metal sound as the spin handle is loosened from the outside. The door swings open. "Ready?" Ren asks, smiling and beautiful in the frame of my cell's doorway. Excuse me. I nod and get to my feet, stopping at the threshold and taking a deep breath before stepping out into the expanse of the loop's corridor. I can hear Ren moving from cell to cell, unlocking the doors of a few selected inmates for 3 hours of freedom, or the closest we ever get to freedom. I follow the curvature of the corridor until I can see Ren. I watch her unlocking Juno's cell, and I can't help but marvel at her bravery, her selflessness. To risk her job, her freedom, her life to exploit the only flaw in the loop's security. A 3-hour system diagnostic and analysis period. When the in-cell scanners are down, there is not another alt in this world who would do something so amazing for lowly regulars, let alone convicted regulars. I really want to stop here because I've already read this book and I know what's going to happen, and I just think this is a great cliffhanger. And I mean, we are pretty close to an hour, which would be 2 segments of 30 minutes, minus the 60 minutes, of course, so my math is a little off. But yeah, I think this is where we'll stop today. I'm sorry that the things get shorter, but I don't know. I don't really have an excuse for it. Anyway, bye. See you tomorrow if OBS is working.